A lot of times we discuss with people we live with every day, we see them, and we really do not know how to address their situations. I have actually met a couple of people living with lip difference, but I don't even want to let you know the name I actually think of them in my mind. But just a few days ago, I actually discovered that it is lip difference. This is all thanks to April. April is a month that creates awareness to people living with limb difference and limb loss. On Against All Odds today, we have so much packed for you. Ignorance, they say, is a disease. And when you're not aware of a lot of things, you just keep fumbling. Today, we'll take that away from you. The program is Against All Odds, and my name is Doshima Pius Ikeravi. In the studio with me, I have some wonderful guests who will be doing justice to awareness creation around limb loss and limb difference. Don't go away. We will be back very shortly after this break. April is a month that speaks to limb loss and limb difference awareness. Ignorance, they say, is a disease. Quite true, as a lot of people have lost their lives, properties, body parts out of ignorance. Losing a part of one's body to sickness, disease, disaster, or accident is not a walk in the park. It comes with a lot of struggle, acceptance, building up, and support to both those directly involved and their families. The theme for this year, limb loss and limb difference, is Thrive. How have you thrived through the years?
As I used to sell data online. I'm also into poetry. Those things, those are what motivates me. Those are what I do. Those are where I gain my little changes from. It doesn't matter how small it is. We don't need to wait on anybody to help us. We can do something on our own.
Persons living with limb loss and limb difference are people we live with in the society. They are part of us and will always be. It's important we study their emotions, temperaments, understand their language, and know how to make them comfortable and be comfortable around them.
This is Against All Odds.
Welcome back. Are you just joining us? The program is Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. And yes, just as I mentioned before we took this break, I have with me in the studio today Miss Ave Aki, is the Executive Director, Hope Alive. And Hope Alive is an organization that actually brings hope to persons living with limb loss and limb difference. Thank you for coming on Against All Odds.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's always so interesting to have you on this program, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Ave is not alone in the house today. We also have a young man who is doing so much in the disability world. And his name is Kelsey Chukwunyere. Kelsey, it's good to have you here. Kelsey is a disability rights advocate. I'll start with Ave. Ave, you know, April 1st to April 30th, a whole month carved out to create awareness on limb loss and limb difference. For me, I think it's too much. Is it too much?
It's not too much in the sense that losing a part of your body, it's not easy. And fixing yourself up and projecting yourself back in the society is a journey. So taking the whole 30 days to create awareness for this and also educate the world out there about what a limb difference and limb loss means, it's not so much. It's just celebrating those special individuals that have gone through this process and they are still striving to be who they wanted to be before maybe the disability set in. Limb loss in the course of your life, maybe an accident, illness happened and you have to go through amputation. This is a whole lot of journey that if some don't even survive it,
Wow.
and if some survive it, but life is no longer the same for them. In my case too, when I had an accident and it resulted into amputation, my family didn't know what this was all about. They didn't even know how to go about helping me. So creating this awareness, it helps bring out people to know that yes, they are not in this alone. There are other cluster of people out there who are living with limb loss and limb difference.
Okay. You know, Ave said something, Kelsey. She said living with limb loss and limb difference. When you talk to persons with disabilities and you say people living with disabilities, they get offended. But here, Ave just mentioned living with limb loss and limb difference. So people live with it? Talk to us about this.
Yes, you know, as a person with disability, especially in the disability community, when you say someone is living with disability, it seems as if it's a disease, just like someone living with HIV. So disability is not a disease, it's not contagious, so it's kind of derogatory. I know persons with disabilities usually have this low self-esteem, this discrimination, the trauma, so they don't need any other derogatory word that will add up to that. So yes, but living with limb loss is something that, you know, along the way it happened and the person have to live with it and by it.
So still leaning on living. Tell us how this journey started, that you are now living with limb loss.
Okay, mine happened 24 years ago. Okay, that's by next month it will be that's 27th May year 2000. You know, as a boy, I was playing football. I had a fracture, and unfortunately, the local bone center I was taken to was a quack. So he mismanaged the injury, which later resulted to gangrene. The hand started decaying because of the way he managed the injury, and I had to, my fingers and all that had to be cut off. And it's been a challenging and interesting journey. You know, because I'm somebody that always motivates myself right from childhood. I like challenging myself. So when it happened to me, it was like, you know, me rediscovering myself, and I realized that you are destined to become whoever you want to be in life, irrespective of your abilities or your disabilities. So it's been an interesting journey. Thank you.
Now, at the point that this was not handled properly, who will you give this blame to? Was it your parents or the quack?
Thank you for that question. It happened within the space of 24 hours. I broke my hand on 27th May 2000. Then the following day, which is 28th, okay, the man tied bandage without putting any stick. So the bandage was so tight on my flesh, and it wasn't allowing blood to circulate down. So before I woke up in the morning, my hands was dead, swollen, and lifeless. I pinched my hand, I wasn't feeling it because of lack of inflow of blood. So I was taken to the man's place. He looked at it, he didn't know what to do because the hand was already cold and dead. He thought maybe using hot water would bring back warmth and life in the hand. So the hot water he used now caused boil, which eventually resulted to wounds. Because there was no life in the hand, they will continue to decay. Had it been maybe we untied the bandage, and because I was telling my mom, please untie this, I wasn't feeling comfortable. She said no, that the man said we should leave it. Since it's the following day we are going back, I should just endure. So within that space of trying to endure, sleeping in the night and waking up early in the morning, you know, it happened.
So parents will need to pay attention to what their children see.
Yes.
When a child that is wearing the shoe says, "It is pinching me," parents should take that very seriously.
This is Against All Odds.
Ave, how did you start living with limb loss?
Okay, so this happened 21 years ago. On a fateful Sunday morning, 9th February 2003 to be precise. Went to church coming back and had an accident. Woke up in the hospital and like Kelsey rightly said, it happened so fast too. I had a broken leg, yes, and had 1 or 2 treatments, but in the course of 2, 3, 4 days, we noticed that everything was not okay. And that infection called gangrene is a deadly infection and is a devil when it comes to an amputation. Like it's one of the high causes of amputation, gangrene infection. So we noticed that setting too. And when gangrene sets in, the only option is amputation if you want to be alive. So the first hospital we were that we were to go for the amputation, my parents thought that, okay, maybe they didn't know what they are doing, we can check somewhere else, and that was how we continued going from one hospital to another. But it got to a point that I was feeling what, I know exactly what I was going through, because it was as if something was traveling in my body. So the other hospital we went to, I said, see, I am not going anywhere until this amputation is done. Like, I didn't even know what I was even going into, but I was in pain, and I really want, and the stinks that come, the smell that come from that, if you are in that shoe, you just want to do everything possible to, like, let it be off, let it be off. So I said, no, I'm not going anywhere until, how many doctors have confirmed that this is the only solution? So please, can we do this? But one significant thing happened. My parents couldn't sign the consent form for my amputation. I signed it because I didn't blame them, because I can imagine putting myself in my parents' shoes, signing that your daughter's leg to be amputated.
It's not funny.
So I signed, and the amputation was done, and I could feel their pain after everything. All the same, I'm grateful to God that I'm here today, and I think God was just using me to be a source of inspiration to the world.
Right now, you've listened to Kelsey, and you've also listened to Ave, how the journey with living with limb loss started with them. We will be back very shortly. We'll just take another break, and when we return, Against All Odds still beckons. Limb loss and limb differences, terms you need to know. Acquired amputation, surgical removal of a limb due to disease or trauma complications. Alignment, positioning of the prosthetic socket in relation to foot and knee. Amputation, surgical removal of all parts of a limb due to disease or injury. Atrophy, wasting away of a body part due to decreased function and use. Bilateral, occurring on both sides, such as loss of both arms or legs. Extremity, a limb of the body, neither upper or lower. Gait, manner or style of walking. Gait training, learning to walk with a prosthetics or prosthesis. Residual limb, portion of the arm or leg remaining after amputation.
When they touched my toes, I would know, and I was wriggling my toes and all that. Somehow, along the line, somebody noticed that she was touching my toes, and I was no longer responding. So they had to say, something is going wrong. And I was going through pain raised to the power 1 trillion. By my own estimation, for me, they tried morphine, they tried all kinds of things, and I was on these things too. I mean, it's like per second, as soon as I say, I need this stuff again. So we got to Cedar Crest, and they said they had no choice, that they're going to cut these 2 legs. Not even one, the 2.
This is Against All Odds.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is still Against All Odds, and I still have Ave and Kelsey in the studio with me. They've both shared their experience a little bit, and I'm very sure that right now, Ave, there's so much awareness, and a little bit of awareness that's been created now that, you know, parents would not be as naive as they were then. I want to believe that right now, a parent will be able to boldly sign the form, concept form for a child, okay? And This year, the theme for this year is We Thrive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Against all odds, how have you been able to thrive through it all? What has been your survival scheme? You know?
It happened when I was a child. I had to go to a secondary school that is a dormitory, that's Government College, Omaha. It wasn't easy. It was an inclusive secondary school. We had the visually impaired and a few other persons with disability. So, but majority of the students were just young people without disability. So it wasn't easy. The social stigma was there, the trauma was there, the discrimination was there. But now, against all these odds, I kept striving, believing in myself, knowing that I can be an inspiration, to someone else out there. And a lot of people, when I started using my Facebook to be reaching out, pushing out content that really inspire people, when people see what I do, they say, yes, there is a reason for this, and God is already manifesting it. So, God and my family, and also myself, believing in myself, and also building my capacity.
So with your hands, do you wash? Do you this? And I've been very curious through all this. Why do you have that covered on your hand?
Okay. My hand's supposed to be amputated from here, but I refused because I knew I needed the length. Like when I was in dormitory, like every other student, I was independent. I had to go to stream to fetch water as of then, wash my clothes. I can ride bicycle, I can do other things, and it helped me to balance when I'm walking.
Oh.
Yes, I'm athletic. I like doing exercise, so it really helped me in my walking and all that. So, but when I was growing up, it happened long time ago when I was there. So this part of my body wasn't growing with me. So tiny, like it's just that I'm still looking for the fund to get a bionic, and when I get a bionic arm, then I can do away with this. But for the long time I've used it, it's been so helpful in many ways. So I never regretted leaving it this way.
Let me get something straight. Like the hand now,
Yes.
it's not growing with you, meaning it's like it's not alive.
Okay, now
That part of your hand.
this now I can
Yes.
feel it.
Okay.
Even if an insect crawls up, I can feel like as if now this is not part of me.
Okay.
So it's become a part of me.
Part
that,
of you.
Yes. So within after how many years that it happened, life started coming
Back
yes.
gradually.
And I was
Okay.
told that had it been, and when that thing happened, that the man tied that band-aid, that there was no life. My hand was hung. For a while, that life would have come back. Yes, it was the hot water he used that
That's
now
killed it.
caused the whole thing.
Ignorance.
Yes.
Ignorance. We'll come back to that. Ave, through these years,
Yeah.
what has been your survival mechanism? Like, how have you been thriving through it? I know you do a lot of things. How do you get by?
Okay, so first of all, after amputation, everything, recovery, going back to school and all, I first of all focused my attention on the things I could do with my amputation. Because I know when growing up, we have aspirations, we have schools, courses we want to study, what we want to be in future and all. But when amputation set in, I really needed to sit back and re-examine myself and assess what I wanted to do and all. I focused my attention on the things I can do, and what I can do with my amputation, I let it go. When amputation happened, I cried in fact, I cried days, months, weeks, years. I would discover I'll be sleeping and I'll be crying in my sleep. I'll be telling God, God, you have to show yourself. If you are God, grow back my legs so that the world will see that, yes, you exist and all. A year passed, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years. It never happened. So, I had to sit back and say, no, I can't continue like this. And self-development is very important. Very, very important. After school, service and all, I needed to use my hands. Yes, one leg has gone, but I still have my 2 hands. What can you do with your hands? That was when baking came in. And the other aspect of the organization now. When I was in the hospital, I never had any visit from any person with disability. I never knew that even a community of person with disability existed anywhere. I needed to see somebody like me. I needed somebody like me to talk to me, because the person wears the shoe I just went in. So, but nothing like that happened. So I struggled a lot. If you accept your present situation and pick up your life, you can be anything in life, you know. So those are some of the few strategies. Love yourself, build your capacity. The world is waiting to hear from you.
Sure. Before we went to Ave, you said something about if only you knew. You know, they've said at that point that hand, blood did not flow if you had raised your hand up or something. You know, so I know that a lot of things are caused by ignorance, okay? Now, what is it that you would like to let parents know? And most importantly, emotions. You know, persons with disabilities generally are very edgy, okay? So how can emotions be handled?
It's the love that comes from my family that made me to know I'm not alone in this. And even my younger ones, nobody talk bad at me or say, you know, look at you, you know, and all that. You know how people used to abuse, you know, persons with disability verbally.
Yeah.
And I want to also encourage parents, please, in a situation like this, that a child is complaining, please untie that child. Honestly, my family lives to regret that they didn't listen to me because I couldn't sleep that night. It was so painful, I couldn't sleep. But just within the space of 3-4 hours that we slept, I woke up around 4 a.m. because I slept around after 12 in the midnight. I woke up around 4 a.m. to urinate. My hand was very heavy, I couldn't carry it. I had to use this. I was like, my heart was palpitating. What is this? I have not seen something. My hand was swollen like, So that was when it was done on me that I don't know what I'm going to do again with this, but I thank God for my life. I've been a motivation to people. I've been a blessing to myself and my generation. So it's also parents to be supportive to their children. Don't turn down on them. Their dreams are still valid.
This is Against All Odds.
I will agree with Kelsey totally, because the love from the family is the first foundation, whereby a person with disability or disability just happened, the person draws strength from that. And the family support, like, I became an egg among my family and my siblings. Everything, Avi, what do you want? How can we help? And so, you know, that support really gave me an edge, really helped me to like go out. Even if I want to go out, my family member 1 or 2 is ready to like walk me out. They don't want to like, I can remember when I made up a decision to go back to school, my mom was like, how will I be managing in school? To her, I was going to school to suffer. So she was like, you know, so that family support is very, very important. And like Kelsey was saying about the family is regretting and all.
Yeah.
The fact that Kelsey is alive is a plus to the society. So please, I want to tell Kelsey's family that they should allow that go. It's in the past. Their son is alive with them. What they couldn't do, it has gone and passed. They should stop holding that grudge against them.
Okay.
It was the will of God.
Life is the most important thing.
Exactly.
If the both of you are not alive, we won't even have this conversation. So
You know?
that's true. We thank God for everything. And of course, I take from what the both of you have said that family is very, very important.
Yeah.
The love from the family comes first
Exactly.
before the love from the society now merges everything, right? And so, parents with children living with limb loss or limb difference, it is you first. It is very important for you to shield and shammer your children with that love and protection that they need. Support them. It is so disheartening when you hear that parents are hiding children with disability. Why are you hiding them? Please let these children out. And if you've been beating yourself, Ave has said something. Forget about the past. Face the present. Thank you so much, Ave. Thank you, Kelsey,
Thank you for
coming
having
on Against All Odds.
Thank
It's been
you for-
so amazing. You know, I've learned so much, and I know
Thank
that
you for having
someone
us.
has also taken this home.
Yeah.
We do not wish for anything, but when it happens, please accept it with love. Thank you for staying with us on Against All Odds. We will do this again next week, same time, same station. My name, Doshima Pius Ikirafe. Remember, it is love and support from the family first. As we look forward to seeing you again, we say,
Happy Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month.